Thank you. Thank you. Welcome again to the Mike Smith Show. In the next hour, I'm going to be meeting people who are passionate about the pursuit of money, or the chase, as gamblers call it. Now, be honest, don't you dream of winning $1 million one day? Someone here knows how it feels to buy and sell Mayfair and then end up in jail. And what made this lady hold her ground while a bomb was defused? Money. Wouldn't it be lovely if it was as easy to acquire as this stuff here? This particular bundle is a truly international currency, but only if you want to buy a certain sort of property, like this down here. You recognise the board, but this is the Hong Kong version of the board. Look at the Chinese names on here, different prices, all done in Hong Kong dollars and so on. The latest recruits to the ranks of players of this game are the Russians. Since the Berlin Wall came down, they've launched a Moscow version of this with Moscow streets, but they had to change a few things, a few teething problems. For instance, they didn't know what a mortgage was in Moscow. Lucky things. And life insurance was also something of a mystery to them. But enough of the globe-trotting, back to Britain. The streets of London, a sight familiar even to those who've never lived there, with the Monopoly game. It's been around this country for over 50 years. It is the most popular board game worldwide. It's in something like, it's about 100 million sets around the world in 23 different languages. And it's even played to international level. This man here is the reigning British champion, Mike Grabsky.
Hi.
I don't believe the name for 1 minute.
Comes in handy for grabbing the properties of other players, of course.
How did you get involved in Monopoly? Was it just from a childhood interest?
Yes, I started playing when I was young and got quite into games, and then left it alone probably for about 10 years, and then read something in a paper about a British championship, so I thought I'd try for a laugh.
And what happened the first time you tried?
It was quite exciting, because it's the first time you're actually playing with people who are into the game. Instead of playing with two people who want to play and two who don't really want to play like you would at home, you're actually playing with four other people who all want to win. So it was fun. I came 11th in the
11th?
Yeah.
It's not very good.
No, but not bad for your first time.
Yeah. And you, how many years did it take you to become the British champion?
Every 3 years there's a championship. So the one after, the 87 championship, I won.
Now, winning a championship like this, take us right the way through it, the sort of people that you deal with and the sort of games that you play. What are you up against? Are you up against ruthless people who play Monopoly?
Generally, in the earlier rounds, no. These people might have answered a few questions on a radio show or something, and you get a few under 12s getting through, so no. But when you get through to the last 10, then yes, you're playing against people who know how to play the game, which makes it more exciting. And
there are people who actually believe that these ridiculous one-sided banknotes are worth money?
They are worth money. In fact, in the World Championships, the game is played on an American board, and the winner gets to take home the equivalent amount in dollars of the Monopoly money, which is about $16,800. $800.
You get the houses and hotels to go with it?
Afraid not yet. Hopefully one day they'll increase the prize money somewhere.
I'm supposed to be playing you here. Do you practice this game a lot? Do you play it every day? Do you play it once a month or what?
I play at the moment probably twice a week, but the championships, the 1990 championships, are coming up now in November, so I'll start playing once every day, twice a day.
I've landed on Bow Street here. It's got three houses on. Is that one of yours?
You actually owe me £600.
600 quid, do I, already this afternoon? This is not very good, is it? OK, £600 across the table.
Thank you very much indeed.
I think it's your go now.
It is.
What about the championships themselves? We talk about ruthlessness in the players. Do they get very serious about it?
Yeah. Certainly even more so in the World Championships, where there's still a lot of grey areas in the game. I was still finding out things you could get away with, which no rules have been written. And the Parker brothers themselves, who organised the championships, they are own the rights for Monopoly worldwide. They had to make up some new rules to cover these grey areas in the game, because it's quite intriguing.
So what is the... You've scored a 9 there, by the way. I'll let you... No, I'm the car, you're the boot.
Oh,
Do
right,
you mind?
yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
You see how he wins the championship now. Takes the other person. You're on Liverpool Street Station.
I am. I think nobody owns that one.
Nobody owns that. So don't you pay a sort of
I'll buy it.
rent?
I'll buy it. Yes, I'll buy it.
Liverpool. Are you sure you want to buy Liverpool Street Station?
Not really,
in these
but
days?
they're going to privatise it soon, so who knows? It could be a good investment, though, couldn't it?
I'm fascinated to know what attracts you to this as a championship. I mean, presumably you could go and do other championships, other games. Why Monopoly?
This is probably one of the best games going, because it's got everything in there. It's got a lot of interaction between players. There's also a sort of very hectic 10-minute period when all the properties have gone, where you have to get a set. There's a lot of trading. It's probably like being on the stock exchange, because there's 5 of you, And if you don't get a set in those 5-10 minutes trading and hassling, basically, you're out of the game. So you've got to do, and you've got to make the best deal you can and end up with the best set. And that's quite exciting. And then, of course, the excitement of missing someone's hotel. And the whole game is...
So the gambling is although there's gambling there, it's fairly harmless gambling, because obviously
Yeah.
the end results are just this stuff
That's
here.
right, yeah.
But with this thing of trading off the properties, where it gets ruthless, what do you actually do? You get your hotel and you get 4 hotels in it, is it, or 1 hotel?
Well, first of all, obviously, you're trying to get a set of 3 cards.
Yeah.
Now,
And then you're
when
building
all the
property.
cards have gone between 5 people, I might have 2, he might have the other 1. They're all split up. And there's got to be a lot of trading goes on to try and get your 3. And nobody wants you to get 3. So there's a lot of dealing goes on. So eventually you work yourself out a deal. And then, of course, you've got to work out how much money you should spend on houses. What's the maximum number for the best return on the... There's a lot of figures.
Right.
And it's been worked out that 3 houses is the best number initially, because of the immediate jump between the rent on 2 to 3. So that's a major step to try and get 3 houses.
And it's not the guy who comes along, or the woman who comes along with a big wad of cash and goes, buy it, that wins necessarily, is it?
No.
It's,
No.
it's the person who can see the way through.
That's right. And there's a lot to it. There's little tricks that most people who play at home probably don't realise. There's only actually 32 houses in a set. Now, in this situation, a lot of the houses are already gone. And if you're after, say, Vine Street to make up a set and you're offering me 1,000 for it, I'd sell it to you, knowing that there's probably only 6 houses left in there anyway, and therefore it's not going to do you much good.
Oh, gosh, I
So
could never play against you. You're far too serious about it.
There's a
You
lot of-
also play backgammon, don't you?
I do, yes.
Now, backgammon is similar to Monopoly in the way it's played?
The similarity is in that they both have the same amount of luck, skill factor.
Yeah.
You know, I'd say there was probably 70% skill, 30% luck in Monopoly, and it's probably about the same in this. So it's, you know, a medium player can play a good play and still get a good game and possibly win. So yeah, it's a similar sort of game.
Backgammon players are pretty sharp people.
Very.
Useful to industry in some ways, I would suspect.
Well, there was a story actually some 5 years ago which happened in America. There was a chap who owned I think it was a stock exchange, stockbrokers, and he was a sort of amateur backgammon player, and he went to a championship. And he watched these people playing. Now, if you've ever seen a backgammon tournament taking place, they play very fast. They think very fast, and they have to make instant calculations of odds. What's the best move? Do I double him? Do I not? And he decided that it would be a good idea for him to pick the 6 top American players at the time and employ them on the stock exchange floor, which he did. And they actually proved to probably be the top 6 stock. This is about 6 years ago. They proved to be worth their money he paid them.
And they were wiped out in the '87 crash, no doubt.
Probably, yes.
You've got your championships coming up this summer. If you won the British Championship again, would you give up this game and just pursue a life of backgammon, or would you always stick with Monopoly?
I'd play. I mean, there's a lot more money in backgammon. I mean, the prize money in here is, say, 20,000 for the World Championships. There's probably 10 over £100,000 prize money tournaments in backgammon throughout the summer. There's a lot of money. And not only the prize money, of course, after the games, there's people playing for £1,000 a point. So you could lose...
I think you've answered the question.
You could lose £20,000 on a game. Now, if I was that good, I'd obviously concentrate more on backgammon.
Well, we wish you all the best with the British Championships this summer. See if you can hang on to your crown.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us, Mike Grabsky. Now, for a staggering 500,000 people, every day in every town, bingo is where it's at. We've spent enough